With nowhere to go, Ananya turned to me. "We have to leave." I offered my home, my village. Her parents, humbled, had no choice. We left the empty mansion for a crowded bus. My parents welcomed them, offering food and shelter. There were no chandeliers, but there was warmth and acceptance. Ananya's father learned to mend fences. Her mother learned to cook. Ananya and I became sisters, working and laughing together. In our shared hardship, we found forgiveness, hope, and family. True wealth isn't what you have, but what you give. That is a fortune no one can ever take away. The house began to change. Angry phone calls, worried faces, fewer parties. Words like debt and bankruptcy floated through the halls. Ananya grew quieter, fear replacing her old bravado. One day, men came and marked everything for auction. The car was taken, staff dismissed. The mansion became a hollow shell. Ananya's parents, once proud, looked lost. Their wealth was gone, their world crumbling. All the money in the world hadn't protected them. In the ruins, we were just children, holding on to each other. The wall between us cracked. Ananya stopped ordering and started asking. We played hand-clapping games from my village. She laughed, a real joyful sound. At night, she'd sneak into my room with sweets, and we'd whisper stories. I told her about my family, my village, the love that filled our small hut. She shared her loneliness, parents who were always absent, birthday parties spent alone. We found common ground in our stories. I drew my family for her, and she traced my mother's smile. "You are so lucky," she said. For the first time, I believed it. I knew what it felt like to be truly loved. The next morning, summoned to Ananya's room, I felt anger burning inside me. She ordered me to brush her doll's hair. I refused. "No, I am not your doll. My name is Mira. I am a person." Ananya stared, shocked. No one had ever said no to her. Instead of rage, her face crumbled. Tears fell. "Real ones! Everyone leaves me," she whispered. "My parents are always gone. I thought if you were scared, you wouldn't leave." Her cruelty was fear, her fortress built on loneliness. For the first time, I saw her not as an enemy, but as a mirror of my own isolation. We were both trapped, me by poverty, her by privilege. The silence between us broke, and something fragile began to grow. We were two girls, aching for connection. Ananya's indifference turned cruel. She blamed me for her mistakes, lied, and humiliated me in front of the staff. She dressed me in her old clothes, smeared makeup on my face, and laughed as if I were a circus clown. The worst was when her mother's pearl necklace went missing. Ananya planted it in my room and accused me. I was called a thief, locked away without food, my protests ignored. It wasn't hunger or fear that hurt most. It was the injustice. Ananya wanted to break me, to make me as small as she felt. I cried for the girl I used to be, poor but proud and loved. In that cold room, I reached my breaking point. I realized I had to fight for myself. My life became a series of silent rules. I was to follow Ananya like a shadow, present but unseen. Her playroom overflowed with dolls and books I couldn't touch. I was a living doll, ignored by her tutor, invisible to all. Ananya was the sun. I was just another object meant to cure her loneliness. At night, I missed my village's sounds. Here, there was only the hum of the air conditioner and silence. The staff kept their distance. I spoke only when spoken to, careful not to reveal how lost I felt. Ananya rarely spoke to me, only commanded. I was hands, legs, a tool, not a person. I was her shadow, fading in the grand house, my own colors dimming. I wondered if I'd ever feel real again. The mansion was bigger than my village school, its gates opening like magic. Inside, everything gleamed. Marble floors, gold-framed paintings, a chandelier like 1,000 stars. A stern woman led me to a tiny room near the kitchen. "You are Mira. You will be Ananya's companion. Do as she says." I was staff, not family. My father's words about being a helper echoed hollowly. From my window, I watched the family. A busy father, a beautiful mother, and Ananya, the lonely girl I was meant to befriend. She sat alone on a swing, surrounded by everything money could buy. I felt a chasm between us, her world of glass and gold, mine of mud and trees. I was here to serve, invisible in their palace. I wondered if I'd ever belong anywhere again. What is a girl worth? My father said I was worth enough to save our family. He called it an opportunity, but I knew the truth when the man in the shiny car handed him money. My mother's tears as she packed my only spare sari told me everything. I was a solution, a price, a transaction. I wanted to scream, but I saw the hunger in my brother's eyes and stayed silent. At 13, my life was no longer my own. I was sent to a city I'd never seen to be a companion for a rich family's daughter. Friends aren't bought, but I was. The journey was a blur of dust and fear. My village faded into the distance, replaced by a roaring city of concrete and steel. I pressed my face to the car window, clutching my small bag, the last piece of home I had. I was just a girl bought for a price,